Do you have 2 homeworks or 3 homeworks?
The new one.
Huh?
The new one.
Which is homework 2 or homework 3?
It's
Is it 3? I see. So we'll have more and more homeworks. That improves your coding skills. Truly. Right, Nellish? Okay. Don't worry too much about your coding now. Okay? In order not to worry about at the end of this semester, you have to now focus on completing your homework assignments. Better do alone. If you do alone, then you may have a lot more faults and problems, right? The more problem that you have, therefore you resolve it, the better that your coding skills will be. Okay, that is my experience, and everybody has that. If you do not have errors and faults while you are at school, then you will have similar errors at the field, which is not good for your career, right? So don't be afraid of having errors and difficulties. The really really, I mean, 2 bad cases that I have ever seen in class is that toward the end of the semester, some students still ask very simple questions. Oh, that was a lowercase rather than uppercase. Oh, there's an indentation problem. Then there is a really too bad. Such students deserve F grade. Really. But I've never given. But I will. Okay, the topic that we are going to do today and next week, we'll come back to a graphical user interface. Okay, today we'll play with canvas and a little bit of a frame, and next week we'll finish up canvas and frame. And then third week from today, then we will do, next topic is, that next subject, it's a network, right? So I'm going to give you a video lecture, since I'm not going to be here physically, but we will have a class virtually. You do not have to come. October 19th? So you need to plan not to come. There's no harm even if you are here, right? Thursday morning, fresh air, have 1 cup of coffee, and think about your life and coding, Python, meditation, pray, whatever you want to do here, okay? And then complete your missing homework assignments. That is a good idea. Okay, so we still have a lot, right? It's not really bad alert. It's all over. So Mercy College will be okay. Which means that is it a fake alert? Now alert itself is true, but threat, fake threat, right?
Did they find anything?
No. Nothing's found. So you will be okay. Okay, graphical user interface. I posted the textbook here. scicq.org. If you come here, I upgraded the first page of this. So I listed all the courses that you need to know when you do have a cybersecurity major. This is for undergraduate, and then we have a graduate level also, right? One of them is 505. So if you click 505 here,
I got a virus.
Oh, God.
congratulations. You want to talk about your virus?
Yeah. Just so you know.
Network is so slow.
It's not on your side.
Why network is so slow?
I was not on inside. I was downloading I disagree with you.
You need to change your
No.
like the WeChat compared to WhatsApp.
Well, I hate them. It's not even a social issue.
Server has some problem. I'm not sure why. You want to send the email to
And guess what?
you guys.
The edge browser. I don't know why they even it's incompatible with our stuff. You know the issues I had with that at work? I had it's programming things. The computers they give you over there, they all analyze stuff.
Oh, it came up. Ah, why? Something wrong, right? The chapter 5. Here, text to chapter 5. If you click this, then you can see the textbook of chapter 5. Chapter 5 is graphical user interface. And recently I'm increasing more chapters, for example, wireless communication and security, sinusoidal wave and fast Fourier transformation and encoding, and I'm going to add more, and data mining and machine learning. But anyway, this is the thing that we are going to learn today. Okay? So I'm going to a little bit. All right, so I don't need to report this problem to the IT. Okay, close. All right. Johnny, what is the problem?
Firewall.
Firewall problem?
Yeah.
That's a simple problem. Firewall problem is alright. There's a device problem. Huh?
That might be, that's the most common problem.
Mm-hmm. A well-known problem. Therefore,
Especially when an update came through, and they might have messed with the settings.
did you set up some rules to protect, defend? If there is no rule, then it can be
If there's no rule for what they
attacked.
do.
Not only that, for example, Fortune 500 companies. I know many years ago, one of our students who was in charge of JP Morgan banking systems, firewall, the data center, IT professionals keep adding rules. When something happens, add the rules more and more. Eventually, they have more than 1,000 rules. So among the rules, there are a lot of conflicts. Okay, that is the problem. That is a human problem. It's not really. There's an expert problem. Okay, I want you to open up Pfizer. This is a frame, and let me check if we have canvas. Okay, canvas. This is not really canvas. Okay, here is the canvas. Let's take a look at this example first. In your text, exercise 5.2, before you have this exercise, you have similar exercises somewhere here, right? In this exercise, you can draw polygons as you increase the number. So you have n equals 3, then you will have a triangle. N equals 4, then you will have a square. N equals 5, then pentagon, and so on and so forth, right? If you increase the n very much, then it'll be a circle, right? If you increase n, for example, 1,000 polygon of 1,000 angles, then it'll be, to our human eyes, it'll be a circle. So as you increase, here's the things. As you increase number, you may have, this will accustom to the size of your outside boundaries. Okay? It's a little bit of training. Training not to you human, but program itself. So program can be adaptive to all the situations, all the parameters. So there is a geometric coordinates and the number of polygons, angles for the polygons and number of polygons. They're all related. According to that, you can create differently. Okay? For example, if you see this, then right, if you compare this and that, n equals 3, well, n equals 14, then it draws like this. But if you have n equals 26, then it fits more and more. That is on your canvas. So on canvas, you can draw some figures. On the other hand, if you do frame, this is a frame example, then the frame layouts can give you like a table format. So there is a specific function associated with the frame is a grid, G-R-I-D. So you can make a multiple two-dimensional grid structure, and then into a specific grid you can manipulate differently. For example, color different in different grid. You may assign or create a button like this. So source code appears in that textbook. Okay, so basically we'll learn two kinds of second top graphical structure. Top graphical structure is TK. Okay, and TK contains either canvas or frame. If you have a canvas which is contained on the top level TK, then on the canvas you can draw some of the figures. You can also display some picture. If you have a frame, then you can make some menu there, like drop down, pull down menu, or any kinds of menus. You can create some buttons to activate some. Alright? So having that basic idea of the graphical user interface. So today we will practice a little bit. I want you to open up new editing panel by holding down Control button and press N, and for new. So you will have new. Make sure that you have a particular. Okay, here the shell tab on top. If you click on shell menu on top, and then there is a edit a shell configuration. So click on that. All right, here. And there are three different tabs up here. Those three tabs is nothing but here. They cannot be controlled together. Okay, so let's say I'm going to work on Python, which is with the Python shell. This is the shell name that I named, right? So Python, and the other Python I called it Python 2.7 for 2.7 version. If you click this, then it executes that version. If I execute, if I click on Anna Python, that it runs on the Anaconda Python. Okay, so here is simply the Python 3.6. Another thing that you need to make sure here is that the fourth menu on top of this tab, there's a GUI. There's some menus. If you see GUI here, there's author is by default clicked, right? That is selected. But if you want to do physically TK, then you can click TK. There are many others. For example, PyQt. This is very easy to create graphical user interface, but we are not going to do those simple ways, but real fundamental primitive way, which is TK, right? That's what we are going to do. You don't need to click this or leave it author, or if you want to stick to TK only, then you can do TK, okay? But make sure that they are all available. And another thing here is that if you want to have some input data, then it should be here somewhere, right? That's what we are going to do. All right, so we don't have, so make sure that. And then make sure also here, because I set that Python, which is this, so make sure that you click that Python on your current Python execution. So everything is set now, so you are ready to do programming within this Python. Okay, so we all did this last time, so I'm going to keep coding here, few sample sentence. So you can do also root equals tk root dot title. I would like to say new mercy. 뉴멀시 921. I call can for new canvas object that is on root, and background for that color is RGB mode. If you say RGB, then the value for RGB should start with the pound sign. Last time some students didn't put the pound sign, then nothing will happen. Width, you can put here some physical number, hard-coded number, but we're going to make it more user interactive ways. And once you create an object of a canvas in it, I'm going to create a rectangle. Okay, so first thing that you can do is to create rectangle. When you create a rectangle function, create rectangle function needs two sets of XY coordinates. XY coordinates, the upper left corner of the rectangle and then lower right corner. Given 2 points, if you connect those 2 points, then that will be a rectangle, right? So upper left corner maybe 20, 30. That is x 20 from upper left corner, 20 pixel to right. Well, let's do 30 and 20. 30. Our rectangle is width, it's a longer width than height, right? So proportionally, we'll have a little longer distance over x-axis. So 30 to right and 20 to lower. That rectangle may go up all the way to 700, but I'm not going to cover all 700, maybe 350. 350. And then the center of that is, again, 250, right? I am going to create another rectangle. Copy and paste. I'm going to change I'm going to make a square, okay, here. So from 300 to right, I'm going to make a 50 pixel square, 50 by 50 pixel. To make it, I think it should be 200. And there I'm going to, our canvas background is 1199FF. So if you can imagine, so RGB is more blue than red, okay? Maybe orange, dark orange, okay? Florida, what is the orange in Florida? Then you have only one. We are so sensitive, so I want to make a little bit less blue. For example, rather than FF, I'm going to make FE. Okay, If you say orange, then that's not the same color. I said FF, FE rather than FF. That's what I'm saying. If it's type orange, then there is only one color. There are not many colors. How many colors do you know? The name. How many name of colors?
Red, blue,
Right.
white.
Can you make 20 colors?
Well,
At most, right? At
20
most.
colors.
Right.
Usually,
What about 1,000 color? Can you make 65,000 colors?
But we're not gonna use 65 unless you do it very.
Yeah, we use it, right? Remember my
Shut up.
our website. If you come to, for example, here, right? That's our website, sitesecure.org. Here, this is a random number. See if I move back and forth. This is a color picked up randomly out of 65,000 colors. They're not. It's very.
That's what happened.
Somebody can count how many oranges that I have. The exact same orange, right? But anyway, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so this is like orange background. Oh no, blue. Maybe navy blue. Okay, on that navy blue. What color is good for drawing? On top of blue,
Blue, yellow.
white. Okay, let's make it white. Then we can do fill equals white is what? Michelle, RGB. What is the code? RGB code for white color? FF. Yeah, they're all F. Right. If you turn on the light, fully, then that is white, right? If you turn off all the colors, red color off, blue color off, green color off, I'm talking about color of light, not the color of your paint. Paint color is different. That's the opposite, right? Paint color, anybody had experience of painting your home or your girlfriend's home, boyfriend's home? Then if you pour all the colors, then it'll be black, right? That is a color combination. But light color is opposite. Okay, if you turn on all the lights, all the spectrum of light frequency, wave frequencies, then it'll be a bright white. Okay, there's F. 6 RGB, yeah, 2 for each. Okay, and then I'll do can and pack all of those elements, and then root dot main loop. That's it, and I'm going to save this. Save that on back to GUI 1. Looks like back to GUI 01. Confused. Back to GUI 01. Okay. And I save. And I'm going to run it. by holding control button down and hit the enter button. Then this is what Michelle chose, right? So color is something that we expected, right? Onto this canvas, I want you to make a circle here. That circle, one circle touches this corner, the corner of a square and corner of a rectangle. Okay? Touch this corner. Do it. One circle. And then you can fill in the circle with the color. What color do you like? Michelle chose one, white.
Can we choose the color?
Let's pick orange, like Johnny's shorts. There's orange. What is the RGB code that your shorts? It's not.
Yeah,
We call it orange, but RGB code.
ORA.
Oh, there is a code. It's a unique code. I want to orange code. I mean the RGB code. Circle here. To make circle, the function is oval. Create oval. I thought you were there. Oval. But you have to put there, again, oval, you may think of minimum rectangles, minimum bounding rectangle for a circle. That is the coordinates that you can choose for oval creation. Oh, where is it? Okay, let me bring up this. See here, if you think of this circle, right? Doesn't matter where the circle is, but if you create that, then upper, it's very hard, right? Upper right corner of that circle should touch. So I'm thinking of this corner. If you make this corner, make that and then circle. Somebody can make some mathematics formula. The one that you need to think now is there is a white. This is the corner, right? Right now. But if you want to make a circle from here, like this circle, so good, huh? Circle. But coordinate to be used to draw this circle is this. This is a minimum bounding rectangle. if you put this corner and that corner, then you can draw this. This is the minimum bounding rectangle. So make sure that this goes somewhere. So a little bit of a tweak can make. This is x, and this is 2x, right? From here there. 2x. Same thing here, 2x. What's 2x? So if you choose this, very big. So let's try. If I choose this, 300, 200, and then 200, 300, 600,
50, 50, 100, 100.
500. Feel orangey, probably a little more red, right? So FF 7700. Before we execute it, I need to close the previous ones and hit enter. That comes like this, doesn't touch, right? So if I want to increase this a little bit, or if I move this a little bit up, no, a little bit down here, then it'll touch. So I'm going to increase this. So 320 and 220. No, 320. 20. Right, 320, 220. So 30.
10.
Okay.
The one number goes up and the other one goes down. No, left, the other one goes down. Ah, I see, it's 210.
You may be right, Johnny.
I was playing with that. With those
How come you have that magic? Huh?
I was playing with that project on Friday when I sent it to you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So 210 on
310, 210.
No, 200 or 190.
No.
Yeah. On that side.
No. It's close, right?
Ah, I see.
So what should I do? Increase or decrease?
Decrease. Decrease that.
No. No. Yeah.
Try one more
Yeah.
time with 190.
Decrease.
Decrease.
30.
No,
308.
That one.
That's your X.
No, that is the 210 with Y.
Right. What do you want to say?
In the right direction. I often go a little too far.
Okay.
crash my machine.
Okay, now how can we improve this coding?
Improve?
This doesn't look good, right?
What's wrong?
Doesn't look good. It's not like a professional coding style. So we need to demonstrate more features of professional coding skills. Okay, what do you want to do first? Can you make some function so that function call? There's no function call here in my coding. Simply, it's a sequence of statements. So we want to make a function code. Ready? To make this, let's try to improve this. So one thing is that you need to, what I want to do here is I want to make a definition and initialize. Okay? And that initialize, I'm going to make all that is 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There's a definition of my function called initialize. If it is defined the initialize, then I need to call it, right? I can do initialize. Initialize. Okay, when I click this, that is there. So, okay, save this, and it runs, right? So this is a little more professional. Let's make more professional. What way that you can create? Improve. Oh, great! Thank you so much. So parameterize. We need to put some parameter. Let's say here initialize. Which one that can you make a parameter? Right now width is 700 and 500. I want to receive that from user. So width and height. When I receive that, it should be width. It should be height, and it should. When I return, I need to say width and height, and I want to get it from user. Okay, so I can say input, enter the width and height. Two together. Then I need to receive it max bound from user. User enter width and height together or with the space. Then what should I do? Width and height, then what should I do? I need to split it, right? So max bound needs to be split based upon white space. So we need to ask user to enter width in integer space and height. So with that split, width is integer of that max bound, the first element, right? And similarly, height is int max bound of the second element. And then I will enter that to user. Just a little more improvement, right? So we can make this user interactive. So hit enter, then it asks width and height. Originally I said width 700 and height 500, and enter. Oh. Nothing. With this, width and height. Okay. Well, one way that you can debug is that print. You can say width and height will be what? Will be first one and second one. And then format. There you can do width, height, I believe that is it, and hit enter. You can say 700 and 500, enter. Oh, width is 7 and height is 0. That's what we have here. So it's not a good idea, right? What happens is that we have this for width, this for height.
So why don't you just split, have two inputs, input width and then another.
So what we could do is that we can make this integer first so that they go together. So we don't need to do this. Oh, okay. No. The problem here is that, simple problem. We need to assign this to a variable. So this is split value, and then we need to split value here. Split val, okay? That is the problem. And then let's run 700 and 500. Enter. Very nice. What was the problem? In the previous approach, I split it, and when I take width and height, I take it from the original value, 700 and 500. That was the problem, right? I need to take the first element of after splitting, which is split value. I want to have a first element of the split value and second element of the split value. Therefore, I have 700 and 500 came up. Okay.
Then you put 7. Professor. What is it? Wait, let me see. Where's the 700 and the 500? I see the 500. Well, I don't see the 700.
What? Here? What do you mean by?
No.
I put. This is my enter.
Where is it on the total? Oh, you entered it.
This is what I enter. I print that in order to make sure it takes proper width and proper height.
I got you.
Okay, what are the improvement? Right now, this is very, very whimsical. It's breakable. I want to make this more robust. James, you want to say something? Right? This is too much. Next week. Too much progress. I want to stick to this coding. A little bit of improvement. What if I enter here 500 and 300? When I make 500 and 300, it came up like this. What would be the improvement in this case?
You would have to say that your width and height have to be more than...
Proportional, right?
Yeah.
Proportionally. Right? What should I do for that?
height or whatever is less.
So these numbers should be related with W and H, right? So this one actually was, when I make that, half of width. And this one is half of height. Divide by 2. Same thing here. Width divided by 2. And this is height, H over 2. And oval, this is 350, so it's very hard to make this, right? What you can do here, this is very hard, but we can draw also proportionally. The way that we could do is, this is also W over 2 minus 30 and H over 2 minus 30. So let's fix first two, rectangle and square. See what happens. If I put here 500 and 300 and enter, so that I have that proportionally decreased, right? Well, next problem is that how can I bring this up here? Right? See, it's not really clearly that we could do, but we can make this in this way. W over 2 H over 2, same thing, W over 2 and H over 2 here, but here's some minus and here's some plus. What I'm going to do here, I want to make radius equals height divided by 5, for example. So that I want to make this minus radius and minus radius, and here plus radius and plus radius. And 400 and 250. Enter. That covers. Make this, say, 10. So 500 and 300. What I'm going to make here, this is rather than 30, I want to make this radius times 3 times 3.
Yeah. Standard.
Thank you. And this, that's okay. Okay, so a little bit of, they are all related. So I want to make that primary, I parameterize for width and height, and then those XY coordinates also related with those parameterization, right? So they are all related. See what happens. So 500 and 350, for example. Then I have this. If I make originally 500, no, 700 and 500, see what happens. Then I have this. If I want to make 700, no, 900 and 700, I make this.
Almost. Just, how big you want the circle that small? No.
Here, to make it better, doesn't really matter. I want to tell you that something, they are somehow related. So here I want to make it 5 times 5 radius times 5. 5 is too big. Maybe 2 times 2 times 2. Save it. And here if I do 900 and 750, enter.
Radius is not defined. Yeah, it's just times.
Johnny,
Oh, sorry.
you should have told me.
Oh, wait a minute.
So yeah, something like this. If I increase this a little bit, like 3, let's say 2.5. Let's make 3. 3. And then 700 and 500, see what happens. close, right? If we make 900, 750, still that much. So if I want to increase this a little bit, then it goes.
1,700.
So if I make this 4, so 700 and 500. Little better. If I make 400 and 300. Very, very proportional, right? Close. Probably 5, as I originally planned. So 700. 700 and 500.
See? Perfect.
Almost.
Almost.
So 5.
Almost.
So 5.
Okay.
Bullseye in that corner.
Okay, what else can we do? So we did functionize. Is there a word of functionization? We made it, like make a function. And then parameterization, we did that. And all proportionally structured. In addition to this, what can you do? How many of you still remember object orientation in coding? Or raise your hand if you really hate object orientation. Raise your hand. So no one hates object orientation? So are you ready to make this object orientation? Which means we need to create a class. Then this will be a really, really professional code, right? Chris, flatly. I think Anna would like to have it, right? You want to make this object orientation? Okay, let's do object orientation. For those who need to keep this, therefore we need to make a new editor, and then come back here, we save it, we copy this all to here, new. Okay, so we still have this. What is the name of that? Back to GUI 1. We want to make this, we want to save this back to GUI class 02. GUI 02 class. GUI 02 class. Okay, so let's make a class. So we need to make a class. Make a class. class, the name of class is my poly objects. Okay. And the first thing that you need to do is we need to create def init, and here usually we start with the self and width and height. I want to eliminate this, remove this, and I bring this back and enter, and goes that. So I want to make this all the way to there. Oh yeah. Tap, 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 tap. So I have one definition. If I have def space, well, doesn't matter many space, double underscore init, double underscore, and open self. If you want to receive any additional parameter, then you need to specify those two parameters and use that parameters inside. That is nothing but in Java it is a constructor. If it is a constructor, then what should we do? I don't need this, right? There is no initialization anymore. But you need to create an object. So my object equals my poly. It's simple, right? I didn't change much. Instead of initialization, I make here a predefined name called init, which is inside the class definition. That's it. Save this and run. Same thing here. This guy says 700. Or user ask, I want to put 550 and enter. I have this. What's the difference between the functionization and classization? Classorization. This looks professional, right? We make the same logic, same simple logic, but we improve our coding skills all the way up to the object orientation. Once we have an object orientation, what happens here is that we can create multiple. Not only this, we can create your objects equals my poly, and then with the minus 100 and height minus 100. So we will have your object and my objects. Simply, right? We can create multiple objects. This is object orientation. You want to see this? Then we can enter again 500 and 700 and 500. So I have this is which is my object and which is your object. Created two. Which is my object, which is your object. Two canvases created. You said?
Oh, the right one?
Bigger one is my object and the smaller one is your object. Right? We can create more and more and more. Because we make a class. Now we can create our objects. For the same class definition, we can create as many objects as we can. Okay? His object, her objects. Her object 1, her object 2, her object 3. If you make a class, anything that you make, if you want to make it as a class, particularly for cyber security, if you want to attack, by having one definition of attack, you can make multiple attack, right? My attack, your attack, and also make this here. This code, you make a for loop, create multiple.
Make a package.
Right, continually. Can you make this multiple? Don't make too much, then your system will be crushed. Let's make here for loop. Okay, let's try. Object equals my objects, your objects, her objects, his objects. Let's make those 4. And then for object in objects, what should I do? OB equals that. And I want to make a different size. I want to make some parameterize, right? To make it, I want to make it enumerate objects so that I have number and objects. So first one is 0. Second one is 1, 2, 3, 4 that way. So I can make num times 10. I don't make one num times 10. So I have 4 objects. I have only one function called on this code, but I have iteration. Okay, see what happens. So if I have 500, 700 and 500, so this is whose objects? This is whose objects? This is whose object? Can someone say whose objects are those? We made 4 objects, right? See here in this list, my object, your object, her object, his object. Okay, which one is her objects? Michelle.
Last one.
Last one is her object.
So it's my object, your object, her object, the third one.
Third one from left or third one from right?
Third one from 1, 2, 3. That.
That. You are right.
There you go.
But I'm not sure. The one that you're saying is
Third
the one that
from
I
right,
am thinking.
Second one from left, right?
Okay, if you're facing our way, it's the third one from right. So 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
You're right,
That's the
Michelle.
one. That's the last one.
Johnny, yeah, okay, you're right too.
I meant that.
Okay, 10-minute break. Good. This object orientation, we have only one function, right? My poly, only one function. This function is activated when you create. But other than that, you have to do, for example, ob dot draw star, for example. Okay. Here you go. So let's draw a star. If this, we do not have this function, right? This function should be associated as one of the function to this class. Okay? So you have to do def draw star. And then you can create the way that you can create and draw a star. What is star? In star is not really, I'm not talking about scientific or astronomical definition of star, but give me naive definition. What is star? Star is usually a polygon, but more precisely.
Different points.
Different points. How many points usually? Star? You think
Well,
star?
6, 7, 5 points.
Five, right?
Points.
For example, military star, there's 5 stars, right? 5 angles, yes, star. There could be 6 angle star and many different ways, right? So let's make a 5 angle star. Okay. I am not going to. Let's forget about this for loop for a while, right? This in this I have to.
No, you're right. You're right. It's 10 points.
What? Oh, this num. Num is not. So I'm going to make copy this. And this one also comments. And I do not want this. I do not want this. Right? So as is, I'm going to save. And then what is this? 17. Oh, I didn't do anything here. So for a while we can say simply pass, nothing, right? Then even if I do this, It's not a problem. I call draw star, but when I go back to here, it says pass. Okay, that is the somehow you create a function, but don't do anything. Then you should say star. In other languages, for example, Java, you create a function. If you for a while only define the function but no implementation at all, what should we do? You know. In Java, don't do anything. Just leave it blank. That works, right? But in Python, if you leave it blank, then you might have that kind of error. So that you have to say pass. Okay? You do sometimes, right? Hey Chris, do you want this? Strong coffee? Then Chris may say pass it to James. Okay, so if I put there 700 and 500 again, what is draw star has 0 positional argument, but 1 was taken.
That means you got to give him more arguments.
I should have self. That's okay. But it's a drawing, right? It's drawing. That is it's type error. Okay. Takes 1 positional argument, but 1 was given. I didn't do anything to. Yeah, that's okay. So if you do this. Okay. If you have that error, then what you need to do is run here. It's the first time that you have here, right? No. Tool. Shell. Okay. Interrupt. May do interrupt. Oh, it's already interrupted. So we'll do restarts. Okay, so we'll have new shell. Fine. So run it. 700 and 500. And very nicely, I do not have any error here. Okay? No, I said just pass, right? Draw star. I say here self, which means I do have self here. Self means in Java programming, there's a self, my object, me, myself. In Java, we don't need to. By default, there is a reserved keyword for my object called this, this, right? Without having to declare this in Java, simply use it. But in Python, we have to say that self. And then we can create some of the self here. I didn't use any self here, but if I say here, this is not just the canvas, but this is my dot can of my objects. You could do that also. All right, in some situation. All right. Now we need to implement here. Do I have? Okay. I'm going to close. Where can we draw star? Where do you want to? That's what I was thinking of, right? It's a good way that we can start here.
Middle of the circle.
Okay. Middle start here. Again.
In the middle of the circle.
A middle of circle.
You can do that. It's probably easy.
Can do, but it takes time to figure that out, right? Okay, that is your homework assignment, Johnny. That's a very good idea. Okay, So your homework assignment is to draw star here in the middle of this. Who can make a centerized, clearly, sharply, proportionally, will have higher points. Okay? Thank you, Johnny. But this exercise, don't blame him. That is so constructive class participation. Right.
You asked me, I
Right. Here, we want to make a star here in white space. Okay? How can you make a star, usually?
Well, usually you do colors.
Usually, somebody makes star.
define stuff. And you draw the points.
You gotta go back to art school.
Different points.
What do you? You may make star like this, okay? Or somebody make star like this. Which one is better? Which one is easier for you to draw in Python? Left or the number one or number two?
One.
Raise your hand if you number one, number two. Why number two?
Function. Well, I looked up online too. Like they have a function that actually draws that star for you.
Right. We want to make a path expression. How many paths? We can draw points. I want to make points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Therefore, you can make a star. You know that? You make already?
Yeah.
It wasn't working. I had to work. Dormant.
And in this way, you need to make how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 points. That is the reason, right? But it's not the reason for the computer. This is the reason for the programmer, right? So you can draw the way that you want to draw, right? From your homework assignments. I want to clearly define the way that you could do, okay? But today we'll make just a little bit exercise to draw, okay? I want to make somewhere here. Somewhere here. Okay? So, what is the small rectangle, square? That is this, right? Starts from there. That is the upper left corner of that white square. We want to put our star, our small star, inside of that one. But all the proportional way of drawing star will be given to you. But I'm going to make right now, not proportionally, but hard-coded star. Okay? Hard-coded star right now. So it works only for a specific size of the canvas. But for your homework assignments, I want you to think a little bit mathematical, algorithmic thinking, and make it. Okay? So, challenging, right? You could do that, although you don't like math. This is not just math, right? It's not just the drawing. It's not just the math. A little bit of everything, right? So, let's try. In this one, we want to make a polygon. So, okay, when I make create polygon starts from, I want to make, as I said, I want to make a hard-coded. So 300, 300, it's not really inside of that. And then I want to make simply 300 and 300, that points and little lower left corner roughly. Okay, so that is 250 or 270 comma 350, and then goes and a little bit for there, so that'll be 330 comma 320 there, and then I need to come back here, so 270 and 320. It should be 5 angles. Well, actually 6 angles. Sixth angle will be the first angle. Sixth point will be the first point. So that I need to make a closed loop. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, and then go back, and then right here, so that that'll be 330. It should be 270. 270 and 330 and 350, and finally 300 and 300. It's not really real polygon here. I want to save this to see if there is any error. So 700 and 500. Oh, there's some error, but it draws like this, right? This is original, but it didn't draw. See what happens here. In line 26 and line 15 here, line 15, star can not defined. Can is canvas, but it is not defined. Can is defined where? Here in this function, right? Can is outside that function. So what should I do? That is the reason we need to say here self dot con. I want to make this all self.con. This is not just a canvas object, but this is a self canvas object, and therefore here self canvas objects. Oh, sorry. It's too narrow. So 700 and 500. I don't have any error. But my star is like that. I'm sorry. That is my star. We need to fix it, right? It's a bow tie. Okay, drawing is something that we could fix a little later. The real programming lesson right now is we create a class definition, which has two functions, right? Within those two functions, the error that we encountered previously was that, hey, I created an object in one initialization function in my constructor, but it is not recognized by other function, even if they are in the same class. Okay, to make them compatible and reachable and seeable, they need to see each other, right? Therefore, we have here self, right? I want you to understand here all self highlighted, right? They're all commonly shared as far as we have self. Okay. That is a big lesson for you. Okay. All right. And after that, we'll fix the drawing. Okay. So what is the problem right now? 300 and 300. 300, 300. Oh, this should be 270, 270, which is no good. If I have a star, I'm trying to apply this. Okay. What I want to make here is in this way. I want to make here. Here, I want to make this star. So if this is a 300, then it should be, let's say this is 3. So if I want to make this about 100, English and 100 here, right? So this is 100. This is in the middle. So this should be 250. And this is 350. And here there should be 400, comma. This is also something 400. Here, somewhere, this is 300, this is 250, so maybe 275, and this is 325, and this maybe 400, so 330, something like this. After we have that, and we can tweak a little bit further. Okay? So, this should be 300, 300, goes to 275 and 400. So, 275 and 400. And then 350 and 330. 350. Okay, 350 and 330. But here 250 and 330. 250 and 330. And then 325 and 400. 325 and 400 and 300, 300. Okay. Then we do 700 and 500. A lot better, right?
What? They got, no.
Right. But we can massage that a little further. Then it'll
Let's
be
move
right.
to the middle.
And then you have to make it middle. But that is a fixed hard coded star. If I give initially different canvas size, then proportionally it should be moved that way, right? And the size of the star needs to be shrink or grow. A little bit of math.
Really, that's 10 combinations.
All right. So that is what I want you to do.
a sub to go just left and right for the overall position of the star.
You can make some offset
Yeah.
and then play with that offset.
And play with it. That's
Yeah.
what I was going to ask.
Do it as we did for that work.
Actually, I think I sent you something. But I put it in the triangle instead. Yeah, you saw it, right?
Let me see what's wrong. Well, your stuff is better.
Why don't like that?
Is it something that you copied or something that you created?
No, I went through and got these numbers difficultly. This is from
Not only difficult, but
you
you made it so fast.
Oh no, these numbers I didn't.
Super fast.
Oh no, the numbers I copied from the homework. But when I did the homework, I got.
Oh.
numbers all.
James, your style is italic size. Italic star.
Mine's like slant.
Italic. That's okay.
No, it's a big come there. No, it's all right.
What? Uh-huh. You should have different copies. Huh? Copy? Oh, you.
on you. Hmm? No, I just did a stupid thing. That's all. I'm paying for it in time. Time and work. I should have looked at the I'm dead. I have problems with my mini condo.
I think somehow it's been covered. So you could download Python app. Python window that only shows you. Chris, you want to do something? You want to make some announcement there? Get on the podium. No, I was fixing the machine. Doing a total swap, migration, all that, right? And I was taking one out. You don't have to cut the box.
Yeah.
Right? Cut the box, cut the knife. Thank you.
You know what's over there, like a sensation, nothing like that. You know that really thing though, like on the sheeting inside the computer?
Yeah.
Stuff that you should never attempt.
No.
I was done one time and I was ripping it out with no gloves or anything. The sensation of that is not something you need to do.
No. It's that metal.
Oh, yeah.
It's that metal. Then you feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Weeks, months later, it still has, you get that feeling.
Yeah.
That metal, it bones.
If I see that metal, like, it's just like, go for this thing.
No, you don't forget it. You don't forget it. Trust me,
Yeah.
all that pain. I know that.
It's not even pain, it's just the weird, like, this is soft. Something that's big.
Oh, we don't need.
Someone thrown under the bus again. Giving up pressure. Wanted to part so bad, and all of a sudden, I was like, bro. And then
Oh, it was that guy.
Chris will explain.
It was that kid, right?
Chris is going to do the demo right now. Yeah, this is.
He still is?
Yeah.
You're right. Oh, no, it's on YouTube.
No, the other guy was started explaining something he didn't understand. He's like, just for finish explaining. You know, I'm setting up a demo. He was supposed to be like,
I was like, okay.
were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, yeah. So you saw.
I was sitting down. Like,
You saw that bus hit me.
yeah.
Hold on.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. I knew well.
Meanwhile, he came in right at the end and like begged to have something to talk about, and I wouldn't let him talk about much because I'm like, you didn't do anything, you don't know enough. And then like the one who's
Wow. I remember that.
Right now, some students behaves. Did you fix? No. Different. You're coding. Although you have the exact same coding list that I have here, when you run it, it behaves differently. That is slightly because I ran native Python, not relying on Anaconda right now. But if you, that may be the reason. I'm not quite sure. We can try here. For example, if I choose Anaconda Python, why it is not? Okay, this is Anaconda Python. Let's try if it behaves the same. So it came up. It looks okay to me. A note: the GUI event loop is already running in your Python kernel. So it's a little bit of a warning, right? Because I said here wrote this. Okay. Another way that you could do, that's what we will do the next class. Those who do not have the drawing properly, this star drawing, I want to make this comment out. Is there any way that I can continually run this draw? After I draw this, I want to continually to run this star in the initialization, in the construction. That is also possible. That one runs in the after function. Okay, after function. There is an after function. You can put there. I want to run in 1 second, 1 millisecond, or I want to run in 100 milliseconds so that you can see a little clearly. And then I can say self draw star. Okay, and run. Come back here. If I say 700 and 500, it came up quick. But if I make 5,000, so that I have enough time of time delay. Okay, so here 700 and 500, enter, and when I bring back here, it still waits, right? Now it comes up.
So you gotta tell actually the process, how fast the process.
Right, I can tell my process that I want to run this draw star
Immediately.
not immediately, in 5,000 milliseconds, right? So this is a little early, so I'm going to make 7,000 so that you can see clearly the time delay. Say 700 and 500, enter. I want to bring this up quick, and if we wait 7,000 milliseconds, yeah, here you go.
Okay.
So that function, after function,
It'll delay.
gives you that facilitate you to make animation. If you make this continually. Make 2 seconds, do some. Make
Can you talk?
2 seconds. You continually in certain loop do it, then it emulates. Right now, you know why we have here main loop. That is the reason. Once that is drawn, and still inside that loops to make this continually. If you do this certain iteration, that it moves. Okay, so a little bit of animation will be done in the next class.
That's a for to toggle, right?
Yeah, a little bit of those. Right. So once you make this a star for your homework assignments, and then in the next class we'll make star will move. Well, not the star, but simple objects. Star maybe, because that is an object, right? One object creates. Okay. This is it for today. Any question? I know some students do not have, but right now, if you do this after, does it create star? It works, right? Chris, you come. Why you want me to come? No, I'll finish this and then I'll.
Chris.